Let's go to the Buyers Barricade guest line.
Right then.
Brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds, is the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy. Coach McCarthy, good morning, sir.
Good morning, gentlemen. How's it going?
Well, it sounds like you got some pep in your step, a couple back-to-back wins, a little rest. How you feeling, Coach? How are you feeling about the team right now?
My sleep score is definitely elevated, but that's a good thing. But no, we're getting healthy as a football team. We're having a good week. The mini bye week has served us well. But we're all about Cincinnati. We got a big challenge coming here Monday night.
Before we get in the nuts and bolts, the broadcast on Monday night is going to kind of be a dual broadcast. Did you ever dream you'd be on The Simpsons, Coach? You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't. But no.
Oh, they're doing
enlighten me.
They're doing a simulcast on ESPN Plus where the game is going to be all in Simpsons characters.
Wow.
Yeah. So Homer Simpson will be coaching the Cowboys on television, but I guess maybe he'll be working directly with you. But yeah, you're going to be Simpsonized this week or on Monday.
Oh wow, that's exciting.
Listen, we all have our career highs, and congratulations. I know that Super Bowl was cool and all, but you're going to be on The Simpsons.
Yeah,
now,
we're proud to have been able to tell you,
Coach. Let's get out the Zack Martin thing. This is obviously disappointing. When you say we're getting a little healthy, this is one that isn't going your way. But Zack Martin, talk about what he means to the team in that locker room, because it seems like, even as people have talked about his play maybe slipping a little bit, he still seems like he's maybe the most respected guy in that locker room. What's it mean to not have him for the rest of the season?
Yeah, it's definitely tough, without a doubt. And I think you've kind of hit on it already. Zack means so much to us, as a football team and really as an organization. He represents the Dallas Cowboys so well on and off the field. His playing career and the Pro Bowls, the consistency of how he plays and is really a clear illustration of really how he lives his life. Just very, very consistent, very well respected. Great teammate. But yes, that was some tough news, and the irony of it all. Also coming on the day that he's nominated for one of the greatest awards. The Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee also. So I just think that speaks volumes about who Zack is.
And as just kind of part of this season, the next man up is going to have to step in. Here come the Bengals with an offense, Coach, that is kind of finding its ground, going against a defense that's given up some yards. Rico Dowdle, have you been just waiting on this? Has it just been a matter of time for Dowdle to be able to do what he did last week?
I think it's more just a work in progress. It's obviously starts up front with the run blocking unit, and then the backs. The discipline and the decision making and the coursework and so forth, and obviously we had some out of balance games, way too many out of balance games early in the year. But I think it's just a product of just the guys continue to work, and we've always loved Rico's run style, and he's only going to get stronger as the game goes on. So it's been great to get him those touches.
When you game plan for the Cincinnati Bengals this year, it feels like game planning your offense against their defense probably is a lot more fun than game planning your defense against their offense. What do you see that you guys can do to slow down this Bengals attack that hadn't led them to a bunch of wins, but there's a bunch of points being scored and a bunch of yards being put up? How do you slow them down?
Well, it's like anything. It starts up front, and you got to get the run game under control, and try to limit their passing game to strictly a drop back, and that's really one of the best things they do too. So been very, very impressed with their passing game. Just a connection, between Joe and the perimeter guys. And that's going to be a big challenge for us. So, but this thing will start up front for sure.
The combination of still being mathematically available to the playoffs, playing a team that's a snake bit but very good, certainly helps Linda. I would sure add a little bit more of a sense of urgency given where you guys stand as you guys move forward into this week. What's been the biggest difference in watching Cooper from first week of starting till now? What's different with him?
Oh, I think just clearly getting all the reps. I think, especially at the quarterback position, you just look at the mathematics of it all. When you're the backup, you only get, you get very limited reps. And now that he's been taking every walkthrough rep, he's the lead voice in the room, in the group meetings. and then obviously getting all the team reps. So he's just so much more comfortable right now.
How's his rhythm different from Dak's? What's is there something that you had to adjust to as play callers and offense from him from what Dak was?
No, absolutely. Every quarterback has a different rhythm, or every quarterback has things that they, feel better about than others, and that's an important part of the play callers and the quarterback's relationship to spend that time in the meetings, talk through things, make sure there's clarity on, the call expectation. We have a PCP, we call it play caller's purpose tag that's put on every single play, so we're clearly on the same page of, why it's called and when it's being called exactly, what the emphasis may be. So yeah, that definitely is something that you have to work with on every quarterback.
Coach, early in the season, as you guys were struggling to find explosiveness on offense, you guys seem to have maybe run into some with Cavante Turp in the last few weeks. How much of a concerted effort is it to keep your home run hitter out there and try and at least have the threat of that massive play?
Well, I look at Turp as a receiver. We've been rolling him in there all year. He's just been getting, some opportunities that have come his way. He's been getting the one-on-ones. We've been able to get him the ball and, some design plays. But, as we know, he's so dynamic. I'm just so proud of the young man because, when he came here, he was, clearly just a kick returner. But, I mean, he's worked his tail off and Turp knows this offense inside and out. So he's able to play, the X, the Z, and the F. And so we just continue to move him around.
Talking about guys that are playing into their potential on the defensive side of the ball, DeMarvin Overshown has really been grabbing headlines. Talk about his growth and what's his best use? What's his highest and best use on the defensive side?
Well, number one, availability and just get his play time up. So just having him out there, full time has been great. And just, and changing up his opportunities too. We've done some more, with him schematically. Give
Like
him
what?
some opportunity, put him on the edge and, and things like that. Give him some, pressure packages and he's definitely producing.
Coach, there's been a lot of discussion about your future, obviously, as the season's gone on, and it suddenly feels like there's a big, almost a surge of people who are saying Mike McCarthy should be back next year with the Dallas Cowboys, and Jerry Jones saying it's not a crazy idea to think that you could be back. Dak's talking about you being back. I mean, how do you feel personally about the job you've done this year, and how do you feel about the idea of continuing to coach the Cowboys for the long term? Like, I guess the question is, are you happy with your situation here in Dallas, and do you expect to be around long term?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, when we were, discussing this way back in the spring, I've addressed those things and, and now we get to this point in the season and I appreciate all the kind words. That's for sure. And, it's definitely better than the alternative. But I think, clearly my focus is on beating the Bengals, and that's where it needs to be. We all have situations that we're in, as far as our contracts and so forth. And I've done this for a long time. I'm very confident in the job that I am doing, but I'm very, very proud of the coaching staff and the job that they've done. So it's important for all of us just to stay where our feet are and stay focused on this. And that time of evaluation will come at the end.
I'm one of these people, but I've heard it from several people that as rough as this season has gone for the Cowboys, it's really hard to put the blame on Mike McCarthy. And as the head coach, I mean, I'm sure you take more weight than anyone is going to try to put on you, but how much of that do you own? How much of this season do you feel like is yours to eat versus, circumstance and everything else going on in the world? You're probably taking more ownership of this than I'm trying to give you, but is that an accurate statement for me to say that, the Cowboys' bad season or disappointing season isn't necessarily Mike McCarthy's fault?
Well, first thing, the season's not over. And, I think that's, part of the problem. And not problem. I think it's just part of the way the world is in sports today. I mean, we're making evaluations, 1/3, halfway through, through the season. So there's still a lot of football left to be played. I think that's important. But I think the reality of it is I am the head coach. I am the lead individual, and I do own it. This is my football team that I'm coaching. I'm in charge of the training, every schedule, the decisions of, how we're going to play, and have the ability to put my signature on it. So yeah, you have to own it. I mean, that's the responsibility of being a head coach in the National Football League.
Mike McCarthy joining us, courtesy of AA Best Bail Bonds, as always on a Friday morning. Look back at on Monday night. When you look at Joe Burrow, what's the first thing you think about, and what are you trying to take away initially with him?
I'll just say from the quarterback position, I really appreciate the way he plays. I think he's super talented. He has total command of the position, and but his anticipation accuracy, I think, is top notch. So with that, I think the biggest thing is you got to try to take away the first receiver and try to get him to play off the spot, which he also does a nice job of, sliding in the pocket, stepping up and coming out. Does a really good job of keeping his eyes downfield in the scramble. So it's just, you got to just try to continue to try to break his rhythm.
When you look at a defense that the Bengals defense, there's no other way to put it, has been pretty bad this season, but they have a guy. This Trey Hendrickson is a dude. When you've got a game plan for, a defense that people might not think much of, but they have a guy who can just wreck an entire game, how much of your focus goes to that one guy and what you can do to really solve that problem?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you have to recognize it. It's all over the tape. I mean, just definitely having the extra time this week. He's huge threat. I mean, he has he's a great motor, but he's a technician. He does a great job, in a really fast time clock too, and he doesn't waste any steps, so he can get on you in a hurry. But yeah, definitely. I mean, he's going to get a lot of attention from us. But this defense is very high volume and scheme, and they've definitely put us to work this week and all the different variations of defensive personnel and the schematic volume that they have on tape.
When you look at a defense like that is high volume and scheme, the timing of movement that your offense requires, how much time do you have to dedicate to that?
Dedicate to?
I mean, just getting your personnel ready to go as quickly as they move their personnel. I've seen a couple of issues with some reffing calls over the last couple of weekends with that substitution pattern getting weird.
I'm sorry, Rod.
I'm just saying, you talk about their high volume. You mean they play a lot of different schemes, and as you prepare with a bunch of guys that are next man up that aren't really used to playing in that kind of offense, how much time do you have to dedicate to make sure your personnel is just ready to be on the field?
Well, we're gonna dedicate all the time that we have. We'll be ready, but I mean, we'll be ready to go. It's we've been fortunate. We have an extra practice day this week. The guys were there's a lot of guys that were here over the weekend, so. We'll be ready to go. I'm confident.
Let's talk about the bodies. CeeDee Lamb, who missed the second half last week against the Giants on Thanksgiving. What's his status like? Do you expect him to be a full go? And how's Brandon Cooks? How's he doing after getting on the field for a little bit?
Yeah, CeeDee's he was limited yesterday, so I'm hopeful with the extra time that he'll be ready to go by Monday. But he's definitely making progress towards that. And Brandon was in the same category yesterday, so we're just being smart with the volume of reps. But today is a normal in-season Thursday practice for us, so this will be our highest volume of work today. So I'm hopeful those guys can take everything that they need game plan wise.
Well, the mini bye couldn't have come at a better time, Coach. Thanks for stopping by. A little win streak. They're saying there's a chance. Good luck this weekend, and we always bid you, as always, a good health.
All right, thank you, man. Take care.